Mariners win. Mariners win. Just getting used to hearing that, getting used to saying that. Just expect it. Every time they step on the field, we talked about it yesterday. If they lose, I'm just like kind of surprised at this point. I know it's early, and there's still the people on social media just clinging to they're not very good. They're just hot. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
This A's team is good.
A's team, they've got a lot of talent on that team, man. They're a scrappy team. I'm glad we won't see that Jacob Wilson for a while. You find him very annoying.
I know. You can't help but love him, though.
You go ahead and love the opposition the way that you do, Dave, okay? I don't need to join you in that love. I respect him.
He looks like such a nice kid.
No, he's annoying.
No, yeah, he is annoying. I think if you're a pitcher, all that movement of what's going on. He's got the big open stance, and you were digging in on the some of his mechanics at the plate. That's pretty unorthodox, right?
Yeah, he doesn't do what I think a hitting coach would tell you to do. He's moving his feet and he picks up his back foot, but it works for him. I wouldn't say a word to him. I'd say, keep it going, man. You're doing great.
That's right.
Whatever you're doing, just keep it going, because the guy just makes contact with everything. What do you have, 4 hits today or whatever? Hey, just glad not to see him for a while, but it's amazing. 9 straight series wins for the first time since a franchise record 15 straight from July 27th through September 18th back in 2001 when they won 116 games.
Yeah.
So that's how long it's been since they've had this kind of run. And I got a note from somebody with the Mariners saying at 22-14, it's the best start after 36 games since 2003, which was also 22-14. So, look, are they going to continue with this? Are they going to continue at this pace? Who knows? But how about just enjoy it while it's happening? For those that are on social media so committed to their misery or so committed to being right about them being lousy, it doesn't have to be that way. You can enjoy it. It's okay. Yeah. You can revel in this and enjoy it.
Well, I think it proves that people would rather be right.
Yeah, which is weird.
Than have their team win.
I cannot relate. We make all kinds of predictions. I find myself saying over and over, I hope I'm wrong. I will wear it with pride. I hope I'm wrong. If I pick the Seahawks to lose or I pick the Mariners to lose, I'd love to come in the next day and go, blew that one. They were amazing. I thought they were going to get their butt kicked. So I would think most fans would feel that way, but there's a small segment that as you said, they take much more pride in being right than they would about their team succeeding despite their predictions.
I heard Stacey say this the other day, and it was like it hit a chord. It was like exactly what I think is that I think when people are skeptical and negative, they come off as being smart. I'm discerning.
Yeah.
Right. And then
I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. And if if you're all in on the team and you're happy and you said, hey, I knew they were going to be this good and everything. It's like you're drinking the Kool-Aid and you're some fool that's buying whatever, the Mariners are selling you. But this is amazing. And, the one part of it, I think, that stands out to me, and you did this the other day, Bob, where you had all of the offensive, numbers.
Yeah.
And how they're a lot of top 10 numbers. Top 15 for sure on almost everything. And then, you look on a few of them, they're top 5. And then, you look at the pitching numbers and it's like, So I think the good news is now I'm counting on, a full recovery from Kirby, a full recovery from Logan Gilbert, and, maybe nobody else getting hurt. But I feel like there's so much more upside from the pitching side. So, and then the other thing I would mention, and I know everybody was talking about this, but I was thinking about it with Julio. First of all, in the field, he's been fantastic.
Yep.
And, and I know our guy Luke Arkins talks about this all the time. I think maybe he makes some of those catches that he makes them look easy because of his range.
Yeah, he covers a lot of ground out there.
Yeah. So, for him right now, at this point, last year he had 44 strikeouts, and right now it's 33. Mm-hmm. So,
he probably had fewer home runs because I know the home runs were. It was a long drought last year. He's at 6. Yeah. Hit the leadoff home run in Tuesday's game, which was great to see. But just. Yeah, it's fun to watch. He seems like he's starting to get heated up. He's got back-to-back games with multi-hits for the second time this season, 6th straight game without a strikeout.
Yeah.
So, he would be huge. But this was good to see.
The windup by Springs. He delivers. Swinging a well-hit ball deep to center field. Bleday going back to the one-inch trap, and goodbye baseball. Onto the berm to the right of the batter's eye. Julio Rodriguez with a solo blast here in the top of the first inning. And the Mariners have a 1-0 lead on Julio's 6th home run of the year.
And by the way, I said that, that you're not getting that much from, as much as we expect, at least from the pitching side. But Andres Munoz, sorry, he's not in that category. It's been unbelievable what he has done. But, and like I said, I just, Mike asked the question, what do you make of what they're doing right now? I mean, like today, 6 runs, mentioned it, Cal, Randy, Mastrobuoni, am I saying that right? Mastrobuoni, Tellez, Tavares, Demo. I mean, you're getting, there was 3 doubles, Polanco, Demo, Williamson. I mean, everybody's chiming in, and it's just really cool to see. It seems like, if a couple of players are cold, the other ones are hot, and it's all working out right now.
Yeah, it's, the way they're winning is not the way anybody expected.
Right.
Because the pitching has not been there. It just hasn't. I mean, Brian Wu has been nails up until today, and today was a dud, and they still won. You still won with your, at this point, your ace. He's your ace. Logan's out. Kirby's out. Castillo's been good. Wu's been better. Today he wasn't. Today was not a good day for him. Bryce Miller, we're still waiting for his first quality start. I mean, so it's amazing what they've been able to do. And give credit to Emerson Hancock. I mean, he gave you another, we've had 2 games since we've been on the air. He was great.
Yeah.
That was so typical of what he does. Gives up a couple runs, gives you some length, gives you a quality start. He'll go 6, give up 2 or 3, and keep you in the game. Look at his game log from all of last year. He had two games where it got away from him. And then the rest, I think he had 12 total starts last year, and it was like 2 that were not good. And then you had 10 that were all, 5 2/3, 6, giving up 2 runs, 3 runs.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to, as I see it, he doesn't look like he's got that ceiling that Wu has or Miller has or Kirby or Logan or those guys. But he's rock solid. He's one of those guys I feel like, you can run him out there and feel pretty good about what you're going to get just about every time. And he's not going to strike out 10. He's not going to, he's probably not going to throw a no-hitter. He's not going to, throw many shutouts in his career. But he's just one of those guys who's going to be really solid and consistent. And credit to him for the way he pitched in the game yesterday. And that's how you've gotten to this point when you look at your rotation in totality and go, it hasn't been very good.
Yeah.
It's not even close to what you expected. But here you are, the best start at this point after 36 games that you've had since 2003.
Amazing.
I mean, you're talking 22 years ago?
Yeah, I can't do the math, Bob. I mean, it's been. What about Hancock? Also, the fact that he's probably another team's number 2 or 3 in their rotation. And he
depending on the team,
Yeah, and he started off just horrible. And remember, we had Charlie Furbush in here, and he was like, "Hey, I think there were some things to like." And everybody's texting in, "Are you crazy? You got shelled, this and that."
He didn't even make it out of the first inning, so that's a bold statement.
Yeah, so hold on a second, and now all of a sudden you see he's solid. I mean, he only had 2 strikeouts, but he only walked 2. He did have a quality start. So, yeah, I mean, that's very encouraging seeing that, because I think we've kind of talked about this rotation going, okay, this is a once in a lifetime, and they're never going to have this again. But you see that, they're able to develop pitchers. They're identifying the talent, and they're developing them. So it was exciting to see that today, even though it just, didn't blow your skirt up or anything with a bunch of strikeouts, but it's just solid.
Yeah, it was, looking at Hancock and what he's done, that first start, he goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up 6 earned runs. His ERA after that game was 81. So he's had to go a long way into bringing it back down to respectability. But, you look at his next start, he went down to AAA for a bit, comes back up 5 innings, 2 runs, 6 innings, 2 runs, 6 innings, 3 runs, 6 innings, 2 runs. That's just who he is. It's just what he's done. And, that goes a long way in addition to, what we're seeing from the offense. I expect both to sort of even out a bit. The offense cools off a bit. Maybe they're not going to get on base at the pace that they are. Maybe they're not some of these guys that are, scorching hot right now. They're going to cool off a bit. Hopefully others will step up in that instance. But more importantly, I expect the rotation, when totally healthy and present, to start trending towards what they were last year.
Yeah.
Because right now, again, you're minus 2 of them. You got one of them who's not performing in Bryce Miller. And that leaves you Castillo and Wu. And then, Wu today wasn't great, but I give him credit for giving them 6, getting through 600 pitches, limiting the damage, giving your team a chance.
Did you give him credit for his barehanded throw to first base? Yeah, they were talking on the broadcast about how he was a shortstop.
Yeah, and he looked very natural.
That was like the most athletic and just smooth, like from a pitcher. I mean, usually you see, and it's just not what they do. But he looked fantastic there. So, but yeah, and again, just another thing, Tellez, with a 3-run home run. Mm-hmm. Munoz gave up 1 hit, and then another just heroic finish there. And then Tavares, the new guy, comes in, gets a single, stolen base, RBI, scored a run. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good first day participation there from him.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch, man. I'm really enjoying watching this team right now, and I look forward to these games. I'm bummed there's a night off tomorrow. I want it every night. I love it. And guys stepping up. Cal Raleigh is as clutch as it gets. You're talking about getting the night off. You knew he was available to pinch hit. You knew he'd be there when they would call on him. And he comes up with the go-ahead 2-run single on Tuesday night.
Ferguson ready, and the right-handers 3-1 pitch on the way to Cal, swinging a line drive, base hit down the right field line. Polanco will score. Julio rounding third, being waved in. He'll score. Heading around to third goes Rivas. He gets to third. Cal Raleigh with a base hit down the right field line. And the Mariners have the lead 4-3 here in the top half of the 9th inning. Cal Raleigh comes through in the clutch.
Cal Raleigh to the rescue, coming up huge in that moment, and then talked about, just breaking down his at-bat in that moment.
I thought I did a great job getting in a good count. I think that's the key. I laid off some tough pitches there, with cutter in, change up away. Kind of set the whole at-bat up and, put myself in a good position where I could look for a heater and adjust for the off-speed. So, yeah, I think it all started with that. I think if I chase one of those 2 pitches, the count completely changes. And, so did a good job of, staying within myself those first couple and not trying to do too much.
Wasn't he on the bench when he hit the home run that sent him to the playoffs?
Yeah.
He was just sitting around all day.
Yeah, that's the one where he said he went back into the cage and had some of the worst swings he had. Like he was way out in front and just nubbed the ball off the end of the bat. And I can't remember who he said was in the cage with him. And they said, "You're exactly where you need to be."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it was like a backup catcher or something.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. But yeah, just talking about how it was the worst swings he had. Then he just squares one up off the Hit It Here Cafe.
I don't know how you do that. I remember Nelson Cruz, who's a DH, that he liked playing out in the field just because he wanted to get warmed up and be, get in the groove. And I don't know how you do that, man. You're sitting around all day. You're expecting a day off. And like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I think expecting a day off. I think they all are there with the understanding. Hey, your name's going to get called probably at some point toward the end of the game. Yeah, like this game, they're ready. They all walk to the batting cages, and I don't know. I think it was the 5th or so in that game.
He wasn't at the bar.
No, it wasn't like, wait, what? I'm in. Nobody's surprised in that moment. But Dan Wilson joked after that game about trying to give Cal a day off.
No, I was trying. We were trying, but that's the competitor that he is. He wants to be in those situations, and to come off the bench like that when you're not used to it is not an easy thing. And he put up a really good at bat there, not chasing, and able to get the big hit and score a couple runs that gave us the difference.
It's huge. It was huge. So you've got guys who've been coming up, whether it's Cal or Rowdy Tellez or who or Rosarena's had a number of moments this year that have been clutch. I mean, you're just seeing it spread out, these clutch moments for guys, and it's been a lot of fun to watch, man. It has been so much fun to watch, and I hope fans are enjoying it. Just enjoy it while it's here. They'll give you plenty of reasons to be upset at some point. It's just it's how it goes. I mean, you could have a brilliant season. You could win 90, 100 games, 100. You're still going to lose 62 times. There are going to be 62 days or nights where you're going, well, what happened there? How come they didn't pitch hit for this guy? Or why'd they leave this guy in? Or why'd they, whatever. There's going to be a complaint. 62 opportunities there. So, and that's in a brilliant season. You're going to have more than that.
Yeah.
So enjoy it while it's here. But we talked about, look, Brian Wu was not good. It was his worst outing of the season. Gives up 3 in the first inning. And this is a team he's owned, the A's. He's owned this team. So this was sort of out of the ordinary. But he was able to limit the damage and give them 6, more importantly, and really, take some of the heat off that bullpen, give the offense a chance to come back. And Dan Wilson talked about that.
Wow. I mean, what can you say about today? Coming back from 5 down, incredible comeback again from this group. It's almost like a broken record, just how well these guys, keep fighting, come back. Brian Wu, I thought he pitched a good ball game today. Gave up 3. A lot of times you get to the good pitchers early. They were able to get to him a little bit early, but he settled in, gave us 6 strong, which was big. Getting to 100 pitches, I think that's probably his biggest pitch count he's had. Threw the ball well all the way through.
Yeah, he didn't have a quality start today, as we mentioned, just because of the earned runs. But he has 4 so far this year. And again, when you look at the stats and individual stats for pitching, Brian Wu's kind of at the top of the list for the Mariners. He's been their most effective. But you have to go pretty far down to find him, and I don't expect it to be that way by the end of the year. I mean, I think once Logan gets going and you get Kirby back, and then Brian Wu still just looks fantastic. And even when he has a bad outing, you get a win out of it.
Yeah, it was a big deal for him to do that. Very, very big deal for him to limit the damage and give his team a chance to battle back in this one the way that they did against a good team. I know we're used to looking at the A's and going, well, come on, it's the A's.
Yeah.
A's were a game behind you after that loss. They were a game out of first place. So this is a team that's playing well right now. They don't have superstars in the way of name value, but you've got some really good players that may end up being superstars at some point, but this is a scrappy team. I get why you like them, Dave. I don't know if you like them as much as you like the Astros. But
I don't really like the A's. I like their Jacob Wilson. That kid, he's just so unusual.
I'd love him if he were in a Mariners uniform, but he's not, so he drives me nuts.
But he's kind of interesting to watch, right? I mean, it's just so unorthodox what he's doing. So
he's the opposite of quiet at the plate. You hear about guys being quiet up there. They're not moving. Their feet aren't moving. Their hands aren't moving. They're just very still and silent. So he would be very loud. He's very loud at the plate.
What do you think you would be as a hitter?
In between.
Yeah.
I moved a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that much moving. I think I would be more quiet, just because I feel like I'd put myself in a bad situation. But obviously he's got it down, because what do you have, 4 hits today?
Well, yeah, and you see him foul off pitches that are way out of the strike zone. Yeah. I mean, give him credit. I hate to do it, but you have to give him credit. He's able to make contact with pitches he shouldn't. Where you're like, why did you even offer at that pitch?
Yeah.
You were adept enough to foul it off, and at worst drive up the pitch count. So yeah, he's a good player, at least at this point. He looks really good, and you got Rooker and Butler, and there's some talent on that team. Yeah. It drives me nuts to see Urias out there doing positive things for that team, doing anything positive for that team. That was annoying me, because he couldn't have been more of a dud with his team, and they essentially paid him $5 million to play in AAA. I mean, you got nothing out of him. Nada. Bupkis. 0, Dave.
Well, and it's not because, some players you let them go and then they go off and take off. Teoscar Hernandez, I mean, he probably wasn't going to do that here, right?
No, you didn't like the batter's eye here.
Well, there's that. But also, I don't know, just things weren't right, and maybe it was the coaching, whatever, the messaging. But yeah, it's kind of frustrating when you see somebody go and have success, and you're like, well, where was that?
Well, it's because he's playing in a minor league park. So that's what he was used to from the previous season, playing with the Rainiers. So he's used to those parks. It suits him, I guess. I don't know. All right, coming up, does a clutch gene truly exist in baseball? We're going to dive into whether the Mariners have it or not. That's coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Rowdy Tellez, 3-run home run, and the Mariners are right back in it.
Make it 9 straight series wins for baseball's hottest team.
This is what winning teams do.
Incredible comeback again from this group.
You got to win against a team that's right on their heels in the AL West, and they do it back-to-back.